On May 5th, 1965, my brother Keenen Ivory and I watched young Richard Pryor make his television debut on The Ed Sullivan Show. Richard was animated and hilarious with very clean comedy routine. While I was seeing a funny comedian, Keenen was seeing his future. From that day on, Keenen was dead set on being just like Richard Pryor. I can still remember my mother yelling, "Keenen, that skinny boy's on TV again." Keenen was 6 months away from an engineering degree at Tuskegee when he learned that the Improvisation Comedy Club was less than 2 miles from the projects we grew up in. So in 1975, Keenen first walked on stage at the Improvisation Club to pursue his dreams of being a stand-up comic. My brother worked hard at it, spending most of his nights going club to club just to get some stage time to perfect an act. I can still feel the pride of watching him on stage. Of course, I was underage, but Keenen was so funny and loved by fellow comedians and club owners that they let me in to watch him. So in 1980, Keenen and his best friend, fellow comedian Robert Townsend, they drove across country in a rented U-Haul, determined to make it big in Hollywood.
And that didn't go well with my mama. I remember she sat him down and he was we had a broken dryer, and in the projects, when something's broken, you just make a different use for it. So now it was our kitchen table. And my mother, Keenen told Ma he's leaving college to go be a comedian. My mother said, "A comedian? Boy, I've known you your whole life. You ain't never said nothing funny. You a comedian. That's the funniest thing you ever said. Ha, 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 ki, ki, ki." She said, "At least have a backup plan." And my brother Keenen was like, "There's no backup plan in success. It's comedy or nothing." And needless to say, my family was over the moon. When Keenen first got his stand-up appearance on Johnny Carson, we all watched on a black and white TV in our kitchen. And I remember it was a tube television. The antenna was broken, so we had a hanger in there for an antenna. And a fork to change the channels. And we watched my brother do stand-up comedy on that television. From that day on, me as a child, I sat there and I was like, wow, you mean not only can you dream, but you can make your dreams come true.
And after we saw him on TV, we thought he was rich. And we just knew we were all going to move to Beverly Hills and be famous with him. And so in 1982, I came to visit Keenen, and I was shocked to see that he lived in a tiny two-bedroom apartment with a roommate. He didn't even have furniture, just a waterbed that made me nauseous whenever I laid down on it. But Keenen didn't care because he was focused on what comes after the struggle. And eventually, Keenen and Robert put their heads together and they wrote the classic Hollywood Shuffle. And after that, they wrote Robert Townsend, Partners in Crimes. And when Keenen asked Robert if he could direct some of the sketches, Robert told him, "No, you're too lazy to direct. You have to give up the women and the partying to do this." Keenen was hurt, but it was exactly what he needed to hear. So for 2 weeks, he locked himself in his bedroom with a pen and some writing pads, and he wrote, "I'ma Get You Sucker." He sold it and directed it. He cast me and my siblings in some roles that let us shine. And after seeing the movie, Foxx approached him to do a show for their new network. They wanted it to be edgy. They even told him, "You could do what you want to do," which is actually a lyric in In Living Color. Yeah. Then Keenen wrote and directed Low Down Dirty Shame. His next major success came writing Scary Movie 1 and 2 with Shawn and Marlon. And those movies grossed over $1 billion at the box office.
I just want to say that my brother Keenen raised us all like Jedis. I remember being a little boy, and he'd fly us out to California, and it was the 80s. He was going to a club, and back in the 80s, he didn't wear underwear because you knew you was getting laid, so he just had jeans on.
What 80s was you in?
And that's what he did. And that's what he did. And he would tell us, me, Shawn, Craig, and Damien, he would tell us, I'm gonna go to this club. I want you to watch these movies. And he gave us Airplane, he gave us Kentucky Fried Movie, and he gave us 3 or 4 movies. He'd give us some popcorn and goes, and I want you to tell me what you thought was funny when I come back. He'd go to the club, come back with a pretty girl, and then before he go in the room, he goes, so what did y'all think was funny? And then we go to tell him, and he go, tell me in the morning after I be with this squally dip. And we would talk in the morning, and he would tell us, we'd tell him the ideas, and he'd go, how would you make them better?
And I do this with no drawers on? Where's that story?
I just want to say that we would not be here, standing here, if it wasn't for our big brother, Keenen Ivory Wayans. Yeah. So on behalf of the Wayans family, we want to thank him first and foremost. We'd like to also thank God, please God, our parents, our family, Fulton Projects, NAACP for this historic award. And last but not least, thanks you to fans. You rock with us, and we rock with you, and this is for the culture always. Thank you.
Thank you.